Hey y'all, welcome back to A Moment with Miranda, where we take a few minutes to reset, reflect, and remind ourselves that we are enough. Y'all, today has been a day and it has been a week. I have put myself into so many high pressure situations, I'm a little exhausted. So it is a sweatpants, sweatshirt, and crop top kind of day. Sometimes that is every day, but that's okay. Which brings me to what I want to talk about. I want to talk about those moments that push us to that very edge. The times when we're backed into a corner with no obvious way out. It's in those 11th hour moments when the stakes are so high and the options feel very slim that we often discover what we are truly capable of. I know this because I've lived it. And if you've ever found yourself in a situation where giving up seemed like the easiest option, but you kept going anyway, do you know exactly what I mean? Those are the moments I want to talk about today. Here's the thing, desperation isn't a place anybody wants to be in or stay in, but it can bring out something incredible in us. It forces us to think differently, to spark creativity that we didn't even know that we had, and to tap into this kind of adrenaline fueled problem solving mode that makes it like the impossible is just completely possible. It may feel like delusion, especially if you've been up for like 72 hours straight. But have you ever found yourself in a situation where you thought, if I don't figure this out, everything will fall apart? That kind of pressure can feel overwhelming, but it also has this way of sharpening our focus and driving us to solutions that we might have never considered otherwise. Now, I can tell you how many times that I've been in situations that felt so insurmountable, like there was absolutely no way forward. There was a moment in my life when I had these times where I had 24 hours to come up with X amount of money that I didn't have. But that money would always end up there. I had no idea how I was going to do it, but I would always think that that money would be there. So instead of giving up, I let that desperation fuel me. I would brainstorm, I hustled, and I would always make it happen. And then there have been times and moments in my work where solving problems for clients that seemed almost impossible to crack. The kind of problems where a normal person might say, let's just cut our losses. This is not worth our time. But instead, I leaned into the pressure. I got creative and I found solutions that worked. What I've learned from these moments is that we're so much stronger and more capable than we give ourselves credit for. When we're pushed to our limits, when the stakes feel unbearably high, we discover these hidden strengths, these superpowers we didn't even know we had. And sure, we don't want to live our lives constantly operating in fight or flight. That's kind of toxic, okay? That's not what I'm saying here. But every now and then, those high pressure situations remind us of how resourceful, determined, and capable we actually are. Think about it like this. Sometimes we get stuck in our comfort zones where we play it safe and avoid risks. And while comfort definitely has its place, says the person in the cozy sweatshirt and sweatpants, it doesn't push us to grow. It doesn't show us what we are truly capable of. But when we're forced out of that comfort zone, when we're backed into a corner, that's when we surprise ourselves. That's when we prove to ourselves that we can solve problems, overcome obstacles, and hit goals that once seemed impossible. So, if you're listening to this and feeling like you're in one of those moments right now where the walls are closing in and the pressure feels like it's way too much, I promise you, you're not in a Saw movie. It's gonna be okay. I want to remind you, you are capable way more than you know. You have superpowers inside of you, and you haven't even tapped into them yet. Take a deep breath, get creative, and trust yourself that you will be able to figure this out. Because you can. You've done hard things before, and you can do hard things again. And when you make it to the other side out of that struggle, take a moment to reflect. Think about what you learned, what you discovered about yourself, and how you can carry that strength into the next challenge you face. Because those 11th hour moments aren't just about survival, they're about growth. They're about proving to yourself again and again that you are enough. Thanks for spending this moment with me. Keep trusting yourself. Keep pushing through the hard moments. And remember, even in your toughest times, you have what it takes. And as always, remember, you are always enough, babe. Always. Mwah.